I never had a great childhood. My dad was gone all the time, and my mom was too. When she was home, it was normally verbal and physical abuse. I always needed to have a way to escape it all, whether it was playing video games, watching movies, or even drinking. One day, I was invited over to a friend's house for a sleepover. When I got there, he immediately told me he had something to show me. We went upstairs and he showed me his laptop. He said he had got onto the deep web. We stayed up till late at night, browsing through all the interesting things. He showed me how to use it, and I took some notes. The next day, I decided to try it out for myself. I downloaded the software, and I was good to go. When on the deep web, there's a page full of links, the wiki. In order to go to these sites, you keep clicking the new links, and the new website pops up. At first it was very boring. Tons of dead websites, or disgusting ones filled with videos of real people getting killed. Eventually I found a forum. I can't remember what it was about, but I asked how to get any interesting sites that were not illegal. One guy sent me a link, and said it was a site that contained leaked government documents. I thought that was interesting, so I clicked on it. When I pulled up the page, I was shocked. It was a whole bunch of videos of people getting tortured, raped, murdered in the most horrible ways. I have a pretty strong stomach, so I was ready to ignore it and just exit out, but I realized that all these videos were playing at once. When I moved the mouse over one, there was no bar that would let you pause it or stop it. And that's when it hit me. These were all thousands of live streams. I clicked on one that said, "Homeless man kidnapped in my basement." In it, a man was tied to a chair, covered in blood. To his left was a table, and on it was a whole bunch of tools like axes, knives, drills, hammers, etc. And there was a hooded man standing by the table. On the right of the live stream there was a chat box, and people were requesting the hooded man to do various things, like cut off the homeless man's hand, rip out his hair, etc. Eventually, one man in the chat box said he would pay several Bitcoin for the hooded man to gouge out the homeless man's eyes. The hooded man agreed and grabbed what looked like a fork off the table and began to walk towards the homeless man. I quickly closed the live stream, but I could still hear it. I tried to leave the site, but it was frozen, and I could only hear the horrible sounds coming from the stream. A few seconds later, the sound stopped, and a chat box appeared in the center of the screen. I couldn't exit out, but then in the box somebody typed in, "Hello, how did you like the site?" I paused for a moment. Not sure if it was some kind of automated message, but then he typed again, "Are you going to answer?" I stayed frozen in place, but eventually typed in, "Who is this?" The guy explained that he was the owner of the site, and that he liked to greet first-time users whenever he could. I got a disgusted look on my face. This is where things got really scary. In the chat box the man typed, "It's rude to make faces, Jake." My eyes got wide and I noticed my webcam was on. I covered up the webcam with a sticky note and typed, "How do you know my name? I'm calling the police." There was a brief pause, and then horrifyingly, a whole bunch of data was posted in the box. I looked at it and realized what it was. Everything about me, my full name, email, address, age. It even had all my parents' info as well. I panicked and shut off my computer and hoped that it would be the end of that. I did a complete wipe of my computer's data and went to get a drink. I was under a lot of stress. That night, my mom said she wouldn't be home. She didn't say where she was, but at this point in my life, I didn't care. My dad, of course, was nowhere to be seen. I couldn't sleep, so I stayed up watching a movie. I fell asleep on the couch. I don't know why, but at 2:30 in the morning, I woke up. The TV was on and it gave off a dim light. When my eyes opened a little more, I almost screamed. There was a man standing just a few feet away from me with a mask on. I flew off the couch and darted for the door. I heard heavy footsteps coming after me. I flung open the door and ran outside screaming as loud as I could, trying to get somebody's attention. I looked behind me and saw the man. He was running and he was faster than me. I screamed louder and louder until I noticed I had tears running down my face. Then a bag wrapped around my head and I was pushed to the ground with such force that I felt blood in my mouth. I heard a car speed up beside me and I was being dragged to the sound of it. They were taking me away, and I was probably going to be on that site. I had almost accepted my death when the man with the mask screamed in pain and dropped me. I pulled the bag off my head and saw a van speed away, and I saw my neighbor hitting the masked man with a baseball bat. The police arrived, took the masked man, eventually caught the van, and shut down the website. My mom and I moved out, and I will never, ever go on the deep web again. And I encourage others to never go on it either.